Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 horror film Bloodborne, a film that is written and directed by Reed Schusterman, and it stars Rosie Moss, Anthony Perry, Melanie Haynes, Laurine Price, and Cole Gerdes. Now this film focuses on a young married couple that have tried everything they can. Fertility clinics, you name it. They've been through several miscarriages and they just can't get pregnant. And they learn through a friend that one of their best friends knows managed to get pregnant by using this company. Apparently that promises miracles and magic and all this kind of stuff. They don't really have any other choices, so they contact this company, and this company comes out and essentially, through the use of supernatural arts and magic and who knows what, managed to get the couple pregnant. But there is something a little bit more sinister at play here, and the birth doesn't exactly go according to plan, as you could imagine, with this being a horror film. Right, what are my thoughts on Bloodborne? Well, horror and pregnancy is not a new thing. It's been done over and over again, many times. Rosemary's Baby, you name it. There's a multitude of films that you want to mention, really, in regards to pregnancy and horror. So it doesn't really, do anything particularly new with a genre, but it does have a little bit of spice and a little bit of twist to it. In the sense of it's not the kind of horror and pregnancy film you kind of imagine at first glance. It certainly didn't turn out the way I expected anyway. Now there are issues here with this film. It is low budget, however, I do think one of the strongest elements of this film are the actors and the performances. They're all very believable. Certainly the young couple played by Rosie Moss and Anthony Perry do a really good job as a loving couple. They've got great chemistry together, and I believe their relationship and their desperation for this child. And everybody else in the film is pretty strong as well, you know what I mean? It's not that low budget in the sense that the performances are really poor. They're not. So the production values are pretty good here, the direction's pretty good, and the performances are pretty good. There are problems for me here in regards to the pacing and the story. It is quite slow paced. The vast majority of this film is obviously the setup and the distress, not being able to get pregnant, etc., etc. And then you've got this setup of, them wanting to go through with this plan and, wanting this baby. And then you've got the next section of the film all about the pregnancy and things like that. And then the real interesting stuff for me came right at the end, the last 10 minutes. And I wanted to see more of that. I wanted to know more about that from my perspective. It really did raise a few questions that I wanted answering, if you like. But the biggest problem here is like believability in a lot of ways. Now, for me, I couldn't get past the fact that I know people would be desperate for a child. I've got a son, but I do know people that haven't been able to have children, and they must have found it really, really difficult and desperate for children, etc., etc. I'm not sure many people would go to the lengths that this couple goes to. There's a few scenes, for example, I would start thinking things weren't just quite right when they start sacrificing chickens in my front room in this film, or when they are told to strip naked and get it on in front of this woman fully robed up and chanting away. I would immediately think this isn't going to go according to plan. There might be a catch here with this baby. And while there are some scenes, mainly from the husband questioning things throughout the course of the film, you never really feel as though it goes far enough in questioning it. The only one that really starts questioning it is their friend that initially introduced them to this company. She starts doing her own investigating and finds some horrific facts, if you like. So from my perspective, I just found it a little bit unbelievable. The fact that they promise this baby through magic, which initially they don't believe. Who would believe it? And then they get, they find out they're pregnant, amazingly, and then they also get this other bombshell dropped on them that it's going to be born in a week. You'd be kind of like, hang on, get out of the house, I'm off to hospital because this just isn't right, you know. And I couldn't get past that hurdle with this film. And it took me a long time after, you know, they've got this weird woman in the house, Orla, you know, doing these weird chants and these weird rituals they're making them do every day, you know. It was just really, really odd, and I struggled to get past that, you know. I don't care how desperate anybody is for a baby. You'd be seriously worried about what kind of baby you're going to be giving birth to, with some of the things that's going on in this film. So I really struggled to get past that. And then when we get to like the real crux of the film, it started getting really interesting, and didn't turn out, it's not, if you're expecting like a demonic type birth here, you're going to be quite surprised. It's not that at all. It's something different, and I've never seen, and I don't want to spoil it by saying what it is, but I've never seen this creature portrayed this way in a film before. It was an interesting finale, and I'd like to say I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that. But it's an interesting film, and like I say, it's, other than the obvious issues with it, you know, in regards to the plot points and things that are just really unbelievable, I quite enjoyed this one, so I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. That is my review for Bloodborne. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with more content and reviews on the channel very, very soon.